7 vials or bowls are a set of plagues mentioned in Revelation chapter 16 of the Christian Bible. They are apocalyptic events that were seen in the vision of John of Patmos. 7 angels are given 7 bowls of God's wrath. They are to be poured out on the wicked and the followers of the Antichrist at the end of the Great Tribulation and right before the second coming of Jesus Christ. It seems as though the bowl judgments are a worldwide occurrence, but it's also possible that a couple of them may be regionalized to specific areas. After they're poured out, Christ and his angels will return to earth to once and for all defeat the Antichrist and the world government army at what is described as the Battle of Armageddon. In this video, we'll go through each of the 7 bowls and what they represent. I do know that there are differences of opinion. Here's what I think. In Revelation 16:1, it says there's a loud voice from the temple saying to the 7 angels, "Go pour out the 7 bowls of God's wrath on the earth." Note that this is God's wrath to evildoers on the earth, not on true believers. In Revelation 16:2, it says the first angel went and poured out his bowl on the land. Ugly, festering sores broke out on the people who had the mark of the beast and worshipped its image. In 16:3, the second bowl is poured out. The angel poured out his bowl on the sea, and it turned into blood, like that of a dead person, and every living thing in the sea dies. In Revelation 16:4, it continues. The third angel poured out his bowl on the rivers and springs of water, and they became as bitter blood. Verse 5 says, the angel in charge of the water says, "You are just in these judgments, O Holy One, you who are and who were." Then in 16:6, "For they have shed the blood of your holy people and your prophets, and you have given them blood to drink as they deserve." The fourth angel poured out his bowl, and it produced extreme heat from the sun. In 16:8-9, the sun was allowed to scorch people with fire. They were seared by the intense heat, and they cursed the name of God, who had control over these plagues. But they refused to repent and glorify him. These verses clearly indicate that even during God's wrath, he still is offering forgiveness and salvation to these people. Revelation 16:10-11, the fifth angel poured out his bowl upon the seat of the beast. His kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain, and blasphemed the God of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. This vial is possibly poured out on the geographical location of the seat of the Antichrist. Prophecy seems to indicate that the Antichrist will arise from Europe. He could also have some kind of residence or office in Jerusalem, but we can't be totally sure of that. It says the fifth bowl will cause his kingdom to be full of darkness. This has happened before. Remember the plague of darkness during the time of Moses back in Egypt? They were afflicted with darkness for 3 days. This bowl may only be a regional event. When the 6th bowl is poured out, the great Euphrates River is dried up. This has never happened before. This will allow the Antichrist-led world government army to cross over into Israel to wage war against Christ and his angels. As the 7th and last bowl is poured in Revelation 16:17, there will be flashes of lightning, rumblings, and the worst earthquake in the history of mankind. Every island will flee away. The mountains will not be found. From the sky will come huge hailstones of over 100 pounds and will fall upon the people. The people will curse God on the account of the plague of hail. Next, the Battle of Armageddon occurs. The Antichrist and world governmental army are defeated. Christ's millennial kingdom reign begins then on earth, with 1,000 years of peace and no wars. That certainly will be welcomed. This is H.A. Graves.